I love this event. Coming up on Saturday, a week-long event kicks off to celebrate craft beer in Maine.
According to the Brewers Association, Maine ranks second in the nation for breweries per capita and impact per capita. Here to tell us more about 207 Beer Week is the executive director of the Maine Brewers Guild, Sarah Bryan, and the board president and president of Baxter Brewing, Jen Lever. Good morning, ladies. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thank you for having us.
All right, so let's talk about the goal behind 207 Beer Week and what we can expect. It is jam-packed with fun activities.
Jam-packed. We have over 80 events spanning from November 1st through November 9th all over the state of Maine. We're endeavoring to get together brewers and restaurateurs and beer bars to really showcase the fully dynamic culture and spirit of the Maine brewing community.
Well, this year's theme is Deep Roots, Cold Pours. I love it. Can you tell us more about that?
We wanted something holistic. We really wanted to reflect like the dynamic aspect of what it takes to make Maine beer, from Maine farms to the restaurants who serve it, servers, hospitality professionals, chefs, brewers. It really takes a full community to make that impact that you were speaking of.
And Jen, talk about your perspective here, as president of Baxter Brewing, and how that, you can relate to other breweries and why they want to be part of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's so many elements to it that make it a great event for any brewer to sign up to be a part of. One, the variety of events. We've got outdoor events, we've got evening, we've got day long. We're celebrating lagers, we've got cask events. Even the type of beer, you can kind of find it everywhere. So I think celebrating and showing the variety of what we all do and kind of who's doing new and exciting things and the way we collaborate and work together is just always been true for Maine Craft, but has never been more important than I think right now. And I believe, we don't, in Lewiston, we're not seeing the same level of tourism coming in and out of Lewiston. We actually get busier this time of year as people leave their lake houses and hunker down, so to speak, in Androscoggin County. So November 1st, that time of year can be really challenging for us as breweries, but also for the hospitality industry, that there's such a swing in our state. And so having it this time of year is also to try to celebrate the collaboration that happens between those locations, choosing to pour your beer, and giving people a reason to get out and, not cook for the night and come and spend money and support that hospitality staff that keeps our state going. And yeah, that's, I think there's a plethora of reasons and ways you can kind of show up and be part of that. And Sarah's done a great job working and connecting brewers across the state to really make it have focal points in several cities, not just Portland. So that's exciting. And the glassware, that element piece, it's representing all of us. And the reason that we all got into the industry was to be representing Maine, and so to do that for a whole week is pretty exciting and fun to be part of.
Now, speaking of the industry, when you heard that stat that Maine ranks second in the nation for breweries per capita and impact per capita, how proud does that make you about the craft brew industry here in our state?
We are an epicenter of craft brewing. I really do feel that we are the crown jewel of New England, a destination unto itself. Maine tourism ranks beer as one of the top reasons why tourists seek us out, come to visit us. And I think local Mainers, we don't necessarily take the moment to recognize how special and talented the industry here really, really is. We have some of the best brewers in the country, casually and often quietly working and making truly excellent liquid, from traditional ales and lagers, but also on the cutting edge of non-alcoholics and gluten-free beers. We're constantly pushing the envelope, and it's something we really want to showcase.
Yeah, we're spoiled.
Yeah.
And we don't realize sometimes until we leave the state and we're like, oh, I kind of want to just go back home.
Yeah, and I think it's a perfect example of why it's so important that we need people to show up and show out for this week in whatever capacity they can. Because if we want to maintain number two, we need to have healthy businesses and thriving businesses that can make it through winter and set themselves up for a successful summer. And it's an incredibly labor-intensive product you're making. Nobody, I don't think, has figured out a way to do it without people and without grain and malt and a lot of labor and a lot of cleaning. So the work is there, and the passion is certainly there. So as much as people can come out and support our industry and really take part in some really fun events.
Speaking of a healthy business, what is the key to being a successful brewer, you think?
Ooh, I mean, this is tough. I mean,
Yeah.
I think, in earlier years, you just had to make a great beer. You just had to, do your research, understand your history, understand your science and your art, and make something that was really beautiful. I think nowadays business is a little bit more complicated. You really have to understand your demographics in your market. You have to understand how to market your beer. You have to understand how to share your messaging, especially if it's an unusual or innovative style. So I think the burden is a little higher nowadays for small business in Maine looking to compete. Because beer is so good here, making a great beer kind of isn't enough. You have to be good at everything, and you have to really understand how to connect with your community, both from here and from away. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's also, success can be defined so differently, right? And with small businesses across the country, a 9-year life on a small business is really something, quite an accolade. In craft beer, I think not only do you have to have all the things Sarah just mentioned, but you got to figure out what's the space, what are you solving for. People have these experience with beer. Beer's very emotional. They have that first beer that you had, the beer you had that you were drinking one night with a group of friends around a campfire that you made memories that you still refer to 10 years ago. That beer, that liquid, whatever you had that evening, is always going to hold a special place, and it's always going to taste a little bit better or a little bit different than maybe how other people are experiencing it. And so, for Baxter, our approach is how do we hone in on that? How do we make our beer be part of those experiences? But everyone has such a different approach, and really a lot of breweries in Maine have a specialized approach to it when they really differentiate themselves by specializing in that one style. But everybody does it differently, and there's space. So far, there's been space for so many people to do it successfully.
Yeah. Well, we celebrate all of you, and this is the perfect event to do that. How can people get their hands on one of these beautiful glasses?
So there were a select amount of breweries and restaurant locations that pre-ordered these glasses. I want to say we have just over 1,000 in the state of Maine. You can visit our website at 207beerweek.com to see all of the locations. We will be posting throughout the coming week as to where to get these. Different places will be hosting giveaways or pint nights. So it is a little bit of an Easter egg hunt all over the state.
I love that.
You mentioned, remember your first beer. Do you remember the first beer you ever had? What kind of
First beer I
Yeah.
ever had? It probably wasn't very good. But the first time I sipped on a hazy IPA, beer was changed for me.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I went from Schlitz
Yeah.
to like drinking some of the great craft
Yeah.
breweries here in Maine. So
It's delicious.
yes, especially selling Schlitz at an Oakland A's game, and I was like, this is as good as it gets.
And head to Baxter, try the 98, Storm of 98. Is that?
Ice Storm of 98.
Ice Storm of
Yep,
98.
Just, comes out this weekend.
All right, thank you ladies so much. We hope it's a huge success.
Thank you.
so
Thank you
much.
both.